All right, so here we have a house painter has found the number of jobs that he has each year is decreasing with respect to the number of years he has been in business. The number of jobs he has each year can be modeled as 104.25 divided by X jobs, where X is the number of years since 2004. Now, if the painter has kept records of the painter has kept records of the average amount he was paid for each job, and his income per job is presented in the table here. All right. So now we're supposed to find the exponential model. So let's do that first. And so we better turn on stat plot. And hopefully, yeah, so I did have the values in. And so, and that was, well, now we don't want that. Or actually, we don't want that. And so our window now is going to be, oh, let's say minus 800 to 800 by 100 and maybe a negative 800. And I'm not sure where it's at, so we'll just put it in here big, and then we'll see where we got. So it's all right there, pretty close. So maybe we only need to go minus 40 to 40 by 10. Okay, so that's going up. And so then what we need to do is maybe go from 0 to, oh, I have my plot here. Never mind, I've got the values. It should be from 400 to 2100 maybe. And let's go by 200. Now we should be in there. We don't need x's all the way to 0. So we can go from 0 and it goes only to about 6. All right, so now that looks better. So I forgot the table of data we had already. All right, and now we want to calculate, and it says to do an exponential. That is number 0. Now, if we wanted to see what it looked like, we could put that in there. But this is the values we want for sure. We want the 430.0727576 and 1.299966351. And we want to put all those, we want to have all of them. And so I'll write all that down. And that's what our graph looks like. So what we have is if we write it to just 3 decimal places, we would get, let's say, I of x is equal to 430.073 to 3 decimal places times 1.300 to the x, and that's going to be in dollars. Okay, so that's his income in dollars. But our original values were 430.0727576 and 1.2999 and then 66351. Okay, so that was the whole numbers. And we'll use that if we want to have more exact values for all these numbers that looks like we have to calculate later. But, if we just want a general simple formula, 3 decimal places or even 2 decimal places, we can do that. All right, so that was A. B, write the equation for the painter's annual income. Well, that's just going to be our number of jobs times our income per job, basically. So that would be, I don't know, maybe let's call that one f of x so we can be simple there. And that's going to be 104.25 over x times our function we just found, the 430.073 times 1.300 to the x. And so that will be our function for the annual income for B. Okay. Now we're going to actually have to take that derivative, it looks like, because now it says write the equation for the rate of change for the annual income. All right. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go, and on the next page, I'm going to write my G function and my H functions, and because I'm going to do products and things like that. And so what I'll do, maybe, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and do the following. I'm going to do this product split into 2 pieces like that. I don't know if that's going to make it any easier or not, but I think that's how I'm going to do it, because I could take this and I take it times this. And when I do it, I could use those numbers and do the rounding, but keep that number in mind. And then I could do that. So what I'm going to say is my g of x is going to be equal to, now if I took that 104.25, now I'm just going to do this in my calculator, 104.25 times the 430.0727576, that gives me a number of, say, 44835.08498. Okay. And then that's all over x, or I can say x to the -1. I don't know. Maybe that would be easier. And then we wouldn't have to worry about having the fraction. And then my h of x was just the, and this one again, if we want to write all the numbers, it's going to be equal to 1.299966351 to the x. Okay, and that's just so we can have more accuracy when we get done. Now, when we get done, we can also round it and get a value that way, and we're okay. Now, can we take the derivatives of those? Sure. G prime of x is just going to be equal to a negative 44835.08498 x to the -2. And h prime of x is just going to be ln of 1.299966351, and then times 1.299966351 to the x. Okay. Or, we could say it's ln of 1.3, it's 0, 0. So it's 1.3, and then this is 1.3 to the x. So that would be a really short version. This is the long version. And here, if we wanted to, we could round it to 0, 8, 5, and not have all those extra decimals there. But this one has the lot, and that's going to cause us to have some of the differences in values of if you round or you don't round. Okay. So what is our, we call the f of x, so what is our f prime of x then? Well, it's going to be this value, a negative 44835.08458. And then do we want to write it with that? Yeah, let's just do x to the -2. And then times, and that's going to be times this one, which is 1.299966351 to the x, and then plus, now we have that number, 44835.08498 x to the -1 times this one, ln of 1.299966351 times 1.299966351 to the x. Okay, and again, I'm just writing them all out. That way we're kind of following along as we go. And so what did we just find there? Write the equation annual income. That was this one. Write the equation for the this. So this was part C, I believe. And then part D is what was income in 2010? Well, 2010 is 6. And how rapidly was it changing? So we want to find here f of 6. So this is one part of D, and I'm just going to put that here because it's all here. 104.25 over 6 times 430 point. And here again, it's going to be that whole thing. 0.727576 times the 1.299966351 to the 6. Okay. So let's plug that in our calculator and see what we get. So I'll have 104.25 divided by 6 times 430.0727576, and then times 1.212366351 to the 6. And let's see, 437. All right, so that gives me $36,062.79745, or approximately $36,062.80. Okay, so that's the income. Now, what is the rate of change for it? So now we plug in the 6 for that, and so we'll have f prime of 6. And I'm just going to type that in my calculator, and I'm not going to actually write all that down again with all the values. So it's a negative 44835.08458 times 6 to the negative 2, arrow back down, times 1.212366351 to the 6th, arrow back down, and then plus 44835.08458 times 6 to the negative 1, and then times ln of 1.212366351, and then times 1.212366351 to the 6th. And there, let's see. That looks like a wrong number, so let me check my parentheses everywhere. 1.26 times that into the 6th. All right. Oh, that's where it is. So that is then a positive 3450.189599, which is approximately 3450.19, and that's dollars, and that's per year. Whoa. Okay. So that would be the rate of change. It's increasing by 3450.19 per year in year 6. All right. So let's go ahead and stop there, and I'll come back with one last one.